What's an opinion of yours that will get bombarded by almost everyone on Reddit? People need to stop posting those pictures of different races interacting with BS I'm 14 emphasis deep captions like this is America. Mother sucker 99% of the population deals with someone of a different culture race on a daily. Your post isn't doing anything but worsening the cultural issues already going on, making it seem like this white guy helping tie a black man's tie is some hope for humanity. It's ridiculous, but lo and behold you have 5,000 care votes within an hour. The real This Is America is a bunch of dudes of all faiths and colors in NYC shouting off the top of their heads at each other over a pile-up. Just because some has a mental illness, disability or has a child doesn't mean they're automatically a good person and capable of no wrong. Or if they've had cancer or served in the military too. No one gives a frick if it's a grilled cheese or a melt. If Taco Bell gives you explosive shoots, it's probably your diet aside from TB that's causing it. If Taco Bell gives you explosive shoots, it's probably your diet aside from TB that's causing it. Amen. Lots of people on Reddit apparently that have the digestive systems of a newborn. There's no good way to deal with illegal immigrants. Give them a path to citizenship. Deport them all, or whatever else. Any approach is gonna screw over somebody. Because it hasn't been said yet, sort by controversial for the real answers. This comment is not very controversial. College sports have nothing to do with education. I mean, yeah. Reddit is just Facebook for nerds. Our Pix is just Facebook now. It's either my dad doesn't think his paintings are any good, so I posted these here to prove him wrong, or it's just repost after repost. That people aren't equal. Some are genuinely worth more than others. If two people are dangling off a cliff, you won't be paralyzed by indecision. You'll make a quick mental tally and you'll save the one that has more value based on whatever criteria you're using. Those people weren't equal, and you valued one more than the other. That these posts don't work because people just downvote actual unpopular opinions that people will disagree with, leading to the top comments with the most replies being opinions that are agreeable and popular. Dogs are the privileged rich upper class white people of the animal kingdom. We are the privileged rich upper class white people of the animal kingdom. When people joke about adulting or how little like an adult they feel in their 20s 30s, I cringe. There are a couple layers of irony going on here, because they aren't lamenting a lack of skills or maturity on their part, they're looking to be congratulated for it. Beyonce is overrated. This is a really popular sentiment on Reddit though, that, and circle joking about her fanbase being awful. I don't like bacon, it's okay, but definitely not as good as everyone else thinks. This is literally the most ludicrous thing I've ever read. Your Reddit privileges should be revoked until you've repented and eaten an entire farm's worth of bacon. Or you know, we've got different tastes and you not eating bacon means there's technically more available to me. Thanks. You absolutely should be able to provide government issued identification to vote. I say this as a staunch liberal. Rights have consequences, many of them bad. Free speech means you have to let Nazis march. Free press means you have to let rich people run attack ads on your favorite candidate. Freedom of religion means we can't shut down that thing you consider a cult. Right to bear arms means guns have to be available even to violent communities so that people can protect themselves. Right to a fair trial by jury means guilty people are gonna get off. Right to democracy means some states aren't gonna have laws you like and there's nothing you can do about it. If you believe the government is there to stop all bad or even all dangerous behavior, you don't believe in rights. An opinion of mine that everyone hates is that I think iPhones are a waste of money. You'll get a lot less hate on Reddit compared to real life for this. If you are fat, there's a 99% chance that is your own fault. Stop eating like a fat butt. Get up and exercise. There is no miracle diet, pill, or drink that is going to make you healthy. You aren't big boned. I have never seen a skeleton with fat bones. I have never seen a skeleton with fat bones. Be right back going to Walmart to eat all the calcium supplements. I'm gonna have the fattest skeleton when I die. The transgender movement and the fight to break down gender roles cannot coexist. Basically every movement now is causing self-segregation. The intense desire to belong is actually driving everyone apart, even within their own subgroups. Some people are racist. Some of them are not white. All people have racial preferences and biases, conscious or subconscious. That's human, unavoidable and understandable. You should check out the Harvard Implicit Association testing. Malcolm Gladwell writes about it in Blink. Babies who are foreseen to have disabilities before their birth should be aborted. It would be easier for both them and their parents. I see this sentiment a lot on Reddit, and it seems pretty popular tbh. I can't stand Star Wars. I'm absolutely sick of it in fact. It's just not that great. If you can't control your child in public, then you shouldn't take them on buses, to parks, or generally anywhere that is public. Problem is, all kids will act out occasionally. That same child could have been a son on the last 99 trips out. You just got unlucky. Some kids are Satan, however. Some people are terrible parents and should be forcefully sterilized. If CPS has taken more than one of your children and you will under no circumstances be getting them back, sterilization so you can't just have a replacement baby. The hivemind is mostly just a collective opinion of broke liberal college kids, poor adults who never grew up, and attention seekers looking to whine about how much they've been abused, how hurtful we are to animals and the environment, painful sci-fi references, and dumb memes. Most questions are loaded and are posted by people only looking for a circle jerk of people to mirror their own opinions and downvote anything else to oblivion regardless of validity. They do not realize that this is not proper psychological support, but rather blind reinforcement of often bad habits and assumptions. Rather than getting actual, meaningful psychological support, we just get our own toxic opinions reflected back by strangers for karma. It's not healthy. Just looking at our AskReddit each week will tell you this. Just a never-ending cycle of the same recycled questions. Even this unpopular opinion crap shows up dang near weekly. Outside of Empire Strikes Back, most of the Star Wars movies are just above average. I'm in no way saying they're insignificant. It's the largest franchise in history among not just film, but entertainment in general. It's just that none of the films are really that great. Minivans are cool AF. There are fundamental differences between men and women, on average, mentally and physically. This does not mean one is better than the other, they are simply different. Women and men by and large have slightly different temperaments and interests. Men tend to be more interested in things and women in people. Again, on average, you find reversals and extremes for both genders. All things being equal, which I'm not saying they necessarily are right now. This alone could explain the dearth of women in engineering fields and the dearth of men in other fields typically thought of as feminine. But both men and women are in general incredibly adaptable. The differences are just innate temperamental preference differences that could be overridden through training or incentive. In societies where men and women enjoy a great deal of freedom and economic prosperity, I'm looking at you Scandinavian Nordic countries, men tend to gravitate towards traditionally masculine fields such as engineering and women tend to gravitate towards more feminine fields such as nursing, teaching, etc. These are societies where there are incredibly few barriers towards doing whatever you want with your life. They are socialist societies. Yet, left to their own devices, men choose certain fields preferentially and women choose other fields to work in. This does not mean men are superior to women, or women are superior to men. We just differ, ever so slightly, on average and at the extremes, is all. Tell this to a feminist and they will eat your brains for dinner. Post this on Reddit and be prepared to be downvoted. May the downvotes begin. Friends was an awful television show, I've never enjoyed it. Karma is worthless. Anything that exists has the value ascribed to it by its owner. Karma's value to me is that some strangers out there have agreed with me and that makes me feel happy. Most people who voted for Trump aren't racists, homophobes, or xenophobes. They just didn't trust Hillary Clinton more than they didn't like Trump. I think more people should have abortions. Not that I would not prefer that they exercise caution and use protection, but way too many people have kids in circumstances that will only make their quality of life worse and create a bad environment to raise children. If you are homeless and drug addicted, have an abortion. If you are being abused and can't or won't figure out a way to leave, have an abortion. If you are seriously mentally ill and can't cope without having kids, having children will not help your situation. Have an abortion. Rick and Morty is overrated. Oh. I'd have no issues if companies' municipalities implemented a fat tax. If your size is inconveniencing the company, employees, or others around you, get charged more. I'd also argue that while many people are more destined to be overweight, I feel a solid majority of people are that way because of their own lack of self-control. There is no better motivator than losing money. I say this as someone who used to be north of 300 pounds and now I'm under 200 and have been for a decade. As soon as I read this comment, at 10:19 am, a large woman just walked by carrying a Coke and a bag of chips, and is now eating it. At 10:19 am, she talks in the break room about wanting to diet and lose weight but it's so hard with her body type. I suppose I should clarify that I work in a pretty large office. Blade Runner is an extremely boring film and I hate it. If we're talking OG Blade Runner, we good and I felt the same way when I first saw it. If we're talking BR 2049 then you're not even close to baseline. Almost everyone thinks they are a victim in some way. Men, women, white, black, conservative, liberal. You are not a victim. Stop being outraged. I can't believe you're victimizing me like this. Having children will completely consume your life and will make it far less enjoyable than it could have been. Another unpopular opinion that is extremely popular on Reddit. Hopefully people will upvote these based on how well they apply to UP's question, and not whether or not people agree or disagree with the statement. Good luck with that. You have been visited by the Happy Husky. Within the next 24 hours you will experience happiness. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.